I promised to be more ready than I was last time. We have a feed, we have a stream, we have a show. This is Chaos Corner, and I'm Alex R. Wagner. The R stands for real. I'm the real Alex Wagner, not that other Alex Wagner you may have heard of. And tonight we have a show that you may be only watching on Rumble or Twitter. Why? Because it seems like there seems to be a bridged gap in the social media game of free speech. Do we think we're going to gain an audience about a Nashville shooting on YouTube? Or on Facebook? Or Instagram? No, sir. This is the job for Twitter and Rumble. Shows like today. Everyone is misgendering him. And I can't believe it. I can't believe everyone is misgendering the shooter in Nashville. Like, how could you do that? Like, seriously, I just want to know. Do you wake up every day just hating people? Is that why you do this? Is that why you think it's okay to do this? Because for me, I would never misidentify or misgender on purpose in most of these cases that we will see today. A shooter of children, I would never misgender that person because that would be offensive to the trans community. And we wouldn't want to offend the trans community because they might shoot us, like today. So, for those of you that came in and saw how dry and straight up I have been about this whole situation, let me just rub you the wrong way a little bit further by saying we're telling jokes about this, and everyone that wants to gain access to the story, because even the President of the United States, couldn't deliver a message about the Nashville shooting correctly. And Fox News did not miss the opportunity to point it out. And now it's that point in our show when we go to our clips. And we get into the Chaos Corner, where we go into the corner of the chaos of all of the news that you saw or didn't see throughout the day. And we start with the stunned Fox News host after Biden's speech.
My name is Joe Biden.
So, here we go. Ooh. You saw my desktop. Oh, no.
I'm Dr. Joe Biden's husband. And I ate Jenny's ice cream, chocolate chip. I came down because I heard there was chocolate chip ice cream.
Remember, there was just a shooting.
Refrigerator full upstairs. I think I'm kidding. I'm not. God. Ben, how are you, pal? One of the best guys in the United States Congress, Ben Cardin. Folks, it's a delight to have you all here. And who are those good-looking kids back there? They're your kids, all four of them? Well, stand up, guys.
John, we'll jump back in here. Considering the moment,
we were told
that the shooting that just happened left 3 children dead, 3 adults dead, shooters dead, and we were told he would be addressing this off the top.
Yeah, it's rather surprising. I thought that a somber President Biden would have come to the podium here and addressed the school shooting.
At 10:30.
Woo! Okay. So Joe Biden talking about cookies and ice cream and chocolate chips and children and how good they look. all in the opening of the speech, but not a lick of anything about the actual shooting of today. And he later spoke about the actual shooting, so that made it even weirder. Because the man did not go off stage and get briefed with new news. So he came on and he was like, I'm going to warm him up with some ice cream and cookie jokes and then finish it with the gun control. What was he thinking? I really don't. I don't know. I don't think. Are they going to really run this guy? They're going to run this guy for president again. Are we for real? Okay. Well, now that we have seen that the president of the United States does not care about the shooting, we can continue as though we don't care about the shooting, right? And we can just make fun of all of the people here that have purposely, in most of these cases, misgendered the man, the he, him, with boobs that shot up the school. I would never misgender anyone ever, because that's offensive to the trans community. So I'm offended that these police chiefs and these, people in the press are so quick to jump down the throat and say that this was a woman. This was not a woman. Women don't shoot things, even when they first were woman. Like, it's dead. It's a dead name. You don't dead name them. Jeez. All right, let's check it out. Let's check out some dead naming. I think I'm going to, do I have a?
They're all in a box.
I haven't been happy for a while.
True internet suffered to pressure.
You can lose $100,000 a day.
The radical left.
True internet suffered to pressure.
I think it's that one, right?
Suffered to pressure.
I haven't been happy for a while. I haven't been happy for a while.
True internet suffered to pressure. All in a box. You can't say out loud that this.
Okay, I'm going to go with Biden.
True internet suffered to pressure.
So every time that we hear someone be misgendered while listening to these clips, people, we are going to
True internet suffered to pressure.
them. Okay, here we go.
13 this morning, the police department received a call of an active shooter inside Covenant School, Covenant Presbyterian Church. The police department response was swift. Officers entered the first story of the school, began clearing it. They heard shots coming from the second level. They immediately went to the gunfire. When the officers got to the second level, they saw a shooter, a female, who was firing. The officers engaged her. She was fatally shot by responding police officers. There was a 5-member team who was that was on the second floor at that time. 2 individuals from that 5-member team opened fire on the shooter. We know at this point that this shooter is a female. She appears to be in her teens, although her identification has not been confirmed at this juncture. We know that she was armed with at least 2 assault-type rifles and a handgun. We are efforting now to identify her. She entered the school through a side entrance and traversed her way from the first floor to the second floor, firing multiple shots. We now know that there are 3 students who were fatally wounded, as well as 3 adults inside the school. We are working to identify those victims, including the shooter. A total of 7 persons were killed as a result of this morning's incident at the school. By 10:27, the shooter was deceased. The officers had engaged the shooter by 10:27, and she was deceased. Again, I said the first call came in at 10:13 this morning.
Okay, so just in the timeline of what happened, that man misgendered the killer like 18 times. It was ridiculous. The amount of offensive things that he said about this man who went into a school and shot up these students. It's crazy. It's crazy how many times he was being offensive. You know. I mean, it's sad, but sometimes you just have to make a point of something. And it seems like Joe Biden's point was cookies and ice cream. And my point is that if we're going to live in a society where we can't misgender anybody, then we really shouldn't be misgendering the shooter who happened to be transgender. Let's continue with the misappropriation of gender happening with the police chief, who seems very, very sad and actually makes me sad about this joke. But we're going to still do it anyway because Joe Biden.
No history at all.
And no motive at this point? Anything discovered in the apartment or house?
No, we have a manifesto. We have some writings that we're going over that pertain to this day, the actual incident. We have a map drawn out of how this was all going to take place. There's right now a theory of that we may be able to talk about later, but it's not confirmed, and so we'll put that out as soon as we can.
Chief, is there any reason to believe that how she identifies simply with white?
How she identifies?
I didn't hear you say that again, sir.
Is there any reason to believe that how she identifies
How she?
has any motive for targeting the school?
We can give you that at a later time. There is some theory to that. We're investigating all the leads, and once we know exactly, we will let you know.
So was this a targeted attack?
It was.
Do you know about a history of mental man or woman?
Don't know any history of mental illness at this time, but we are looking at that as the investigation is ongoing, and I'm sorry.
She identifies as a transgender man.
True international effort to pressure.
Woman.
True international effort to pressure.
That's the best part. That's the best part of this whole thing, people. Let's look at that a little bit. Okay, so the reporter says, does she, which is misgendering this person while we're playing this game,
True international effort to pressure.
does she identify as a transgender man? Which she identifies as a man, so that would be a correct statement. But the black man does not understand the transgender movement whatsoever. And the lady only half understands, since she called him she. It's crazy. It's not that hard, people, to understand that this was a man who shot up the school, not a woman. Because a woman would never shoot up a school. Only a man. Or maybe a woman dressed as a man. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about an actual literal man. This is only a man. There is no women here. And it is extremely offensive to continue to spout this nonsense that this lady who was a man was actually a man by our societal rules of transgenderism. And anyway, our black... Let me recap that because I kind of trailed off there. The lady, the reporting lady, says she identifies as a transgender man, correct? The officer, not understanding this, says, no, she's a woman. And it's very, very funny because neither one of them are correct on how to speak in the transgender language of the... But, you know, they are closer. They are closer. They are closer than most.
True international effort to pressure.
What's this one? Oh, okay.
True international effort to pressure.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, let's clear this. Let's get to our next one. What do we have? Oh, okay. So this lady, she just happens to be on vacation, but she also happens to be a gun lobbyist who just randomly pulls up onto the scene of this shooting and decides to spout nonsense at the media. But then the nonsense starts to make sense, and it's a pretty good speech. But then you really kind of realize no one's watching.
Aren't you guys tired of covering this?
Ready?
Aren't you guys tired of being here and having to cover all of these mass shootings? Aren't you guys tired of covering this? Aren't Aren't you guys tired of being here and having to cover all of these mass shootings? I'm from Highland Park, Illinois. My son and I survived a mass shooting over the summer. I am in Tennessee on a family vacation with my son, visiting my sister-in-law. I have been lobbying in D.C. since we survived a mass shooting in July. I have met with over 130 lawmakers. How is this still happening? How are our children still dying, and why are we failing them? Gun violence is the #1 killer of children and teens. It has overtaken cars. Assault weapons are contributing to the border crisis and fentanyl. We are arming cartels with our guns and our loose gun laws, and these shootings and these mass shootings will continue to happen until our lawmakers step up and pass gun safety legislation. I'm pretty sure this was an unsecured weapon that this teenager got a hold of. We can't even pass gun safety, like safe storage laws in this country to protect kids from getting a hold of weapons that they shoot each other with. Aren't you guys tired of this? Are you guys sick of it? We have to do something. We'll all have to call our lawmakers, and we all have to make our lawmakers make change now, or this is going to keep happening. It's going to be your kid, and your kid, and your kid, and your kid next, because it's just a matter of time.
It's so funny and motivational until they pull out. And then when they pull out, you're like, oh, she's talking to like 3 reporters in a mask with a cell phone. Aren't you tired of covering this? Lady, I'm a local reporter. There's been only one mass shooting in Nashville in the last year. Aren't you tired of covering every one of these? No, I am not a lobbyist like you. I do not travel the world finding gun violence. All right, let's see what the press secretary has to think about a think. Jean Pierre, with her comments on the gun violence. What's the Jean Pierre got to say, huh?
In his State of the Union, the president called on Congress to do something to stop the epidemic of gun violence, tearing families apart, tearing communities apart. How many more children have to be murdered before Republicans in Congress will step up and act to pass the assault weapons ban?
Excuse me. How many children will have to be murdered? I know you're trying to use scare tactic lingo or whatever politically, but it's very hilarious to see the press secretary of the United States explaining that they're just going to murder more children until the Republicans decide to vote for gun control. Until then, like, they're just going to murder children. So just know that your government will murder all the children until the Republicans pass some gun control, I guess. I don't fucking know. It don't make no goddamn sense. What else the press secretary gotta say today? Huh?
Bill Washington had the right qualifications and experience for this role.
The
A couple
FFA.
things that you've heard me talk about and you've heard us talk about more broadly. He's led the Denver International Airport, one of the busiest airports in the world, managed large safety-focused transportation agencies, and served as command sergeant major in the military. This was a veteran of the military. He was a veteran. And, there were games that we played on, an onslaught of unfounded Republican attacks on Mr. Washington.
He's going to be in charge of the FAA, but he's not a pilot, and he's never flown a plane. That's not a Republican conspiracy theory, people. That's common sense. He didn't get in because he wasn't qualified. Next time, don't just pick someone from the military. Choose someone that maybe flew a plane to be in charge of the planes. Jeez. All right. Jeez Louise. What else we got?
From the suburbs of Pitt.
Oh, okay. All right. This is CNN doing an investigation into how people feel about Fetterman now that he is in office, what he should be doing now. What do they think after 6 weeks in the hospital?
From the suburbs of Pittsburgh.
I don't think the man's fit for the job, okay? And it may be that he doesn't have the cognitive ability also.
Is there anything you think he could do to kind of assure you that he can handle the job?
He could resign and turn it over to somebody who is physically fit to handle the job.
Oh, sick libertarian burn. Is there anything he could do to change your mind? Yeah, he could not do that job anymore because he should not do that job anymore. Yeah, if you're in the hospital for 6 weeks, most people aren't going to think, oh, yeah, that's a healthy, normal, adult senator. All right, this is now Jon Stewart bragging about being woke, just like really subtly. Like he's like talking about like how the phone doesn't make you woke, you identify as it, but like he was accepting it as though it was a good thing and like just kind of passing it off. And it caught the Republican media's attention. And so let's check this out. Let's check out Jon Stewart admitting that he's woke.
We all participate in exploitative systems. I'm woke. My fucking phone is not.
That's right.
But I use it because it has birds that are angry on it, and I love them.
Right.
But do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's not so. That's what I meant by
exactly
the humility of like, I know what I am. I try and live to the good unless the inconvenience of it is too great.
I want my.
What in the fuck was that? Jon Stewart looking like a mess. He looking like he's a sack of potatoes. That's what Jon Stewart looking like a Jewish sack of potatoes. It's crazy. I can't believe it. Jon Stewart used to be like an idol of mine. Now he's just like a Jewish old man mess from New York. Ridiculous. Then he's like, I'm woke because we all woke, right? And the black man's like, yeah. And then they like pan to the two shot and it's like Blue Note podcast because we smart and we listen to jazz and stuff. Okay. Good luck. Reality is setting upon you at any point. Country music is just as good, if not better. I would say jazz is always the best, but your fucking Blue Note podcast sucks balls, y'all. Okay, so Trump had a rally this weekend, and at his rally, there was a man. And this man, his name was Ted Nugent. And he started the rally off with the very first statement of the Trump rally being this.
My money back. I didn't authorize any money to Ukraine to some homosexual weirdo. I want my...
So, yeah. Some homosexual weirdo? What is going on? I want my money back. The first thing said at a 2023 Trump rally is, I want my money back. And they're not referring to the ticket sale or the gold coin that he's selling. All right, now here's Matt Gaetz looking like an a cappella singer. Gonna tell us some more... well, he's going to be on Trump's side from day one because he's like up Trump's butt to begin with. And he's going to tell us all why DeSantis and Cruz need to settle down. They need to settle down. Meatball Ron and Tiny Hand Ted Cruz with his murdering dad need to settle down and let Trump come back in. Okay?
Only Donald Trump could have rescued us from Hillary Clinton. Without Trump, doing 3 rallies in the final week in the 2018 election in Florida, my governor today would probably be Andrew Gillum. How weird is that? And without Trump dragging Ted Cruz across the finish line, your senator would probably be Beta Beto. So Ron DeSantis, Ted Cruz, patriots of the MAGA movement delivered for you in your time of need. Today, Ron DeSantis and Ted Cruz should endorse Donald Trump for president and stand with us as we were so proud to stand with them.
And so it begins. We know where the war for the primary starts. It starts with DeSantis and Trump, and it ends with Ted Cruz being like, why am I doing this? But like, somebody gave me money and I have a podcast now, so I guess I'll just like run for president. I don't know why, but like, I'll try again. And then we're like, we don't like you, Ted Cruz. Your dad murdered JFK. Jeez. Get it through your head. He's a Zodiac killer, and we're not having it. Okay? Jeez. All right. What else we got? What else is going on?
How did you feel about?
Oh, okay. So now we're at the wild side. All right, y'all at the wild side?
We're at the wild side. This is the wild side of the show.
It's where we go into like the whole like, you know, Jew Kanye thing. So here's Netanyahu, and he's getting interviewed by Piers Morgan, and they're gonna like just talk about how like they hate Kanye. And then after that, we're going to show you Nick Fuentes in his intro for his rally in D.C. So basically, you'll like get to see like, here's the Jews explaining to you like why you should hate Kanye West. And here's like Kanye West people like telling you, I guess, why you should hate Jews. I don't hear them saying hate Jews. So it's kind of a weird thing, but you should, I guess, believe whatever you want to believe. Here we go. Let's check it out.
How did you feel about Donald Trump having dinner with Kanye West and the white supremacist Nick Fuentes?
That was horrible.
Two people who spewed a lot of anti-Semitic
I thought it
stuff.
was horrible, and I said so. I think it's a big mistake. It's wrong. It's wrong from every point of view.
How damaging is it when someone with Kanye West's following suddenly seems to go rogue anti-Semitic in the way that he did?
My father was a great historian and a historian of anti-Semitism. It goes back about 2,500 years as a sort of a doctrine that keeps changing. But basically people say there's trouble in the world, I want to blame the Jews. We have a setback here or a setback there, blame the Jews. The communists say the Jews are the capitalists say the Jews are the communists, blame the Jews. So, you know, that's a deep-seated pattern. It should not be countenanced, it should not be accepted, it should be rebuked and condemned, and that's what I do. And I don't care where it comes from or from whom.
The troubled visions. Nebuchadnezzar was at rest in mine house and flourishing in mine palace. I saw a dream which made me afraid, and the thoughts upon my bed and the visions of my head troubled me.
We got something better than gold. Blessings raining down 1,000-fold. Grace and anointing overflow. Goodness and mercy follow. Glory dripping all over the place. Table spread like a buffet. We ain't worried keys like Alicia. I meet you, delete you. I love you, I feed you. Don't want you, I need you. No TV, come see me. I'm flexing in 3D. Big dog, pee-wee, jet ski, seaweed. We got something better than gold. Blessings raining down 1,000-fold. Grace and anointing overflow. Goodness and mercy follow. Glory dripping all over the place. Table spread like a buffet. We ain't worried about what people say. We gon' worship God anyway. We gon' worship God anyway. We gon' worship God anyway.
Netanyahu, 0. Kanye West, Nick Fuentes, 1. Let the pseudo semi-reality secondary political presidential campaign continue. I will see you all next week. Will Meatball Ron be back in the news? Will we have more Fuentes and Kanye? Will we just be with Trump? Catch me on Rumble and Twitter because they're better and everything else sucks. So if you saw this show on something else, it's probably being censored. So catch me on those, please. And also subscribe. Envy app. ENV. Download it. Free content every month. $40 a year. And you get to see this uncensored every week.